Up, book nerds, we're doing an NFL running back tier list Madden edition, or according to Madden, depends on what I pick for the title. This video is Madden's tier list of the running backs, and I'll be giving my opinion. Are they good, bad, horrible? Let's hop into this. Note if any of my opinions are different from previous running back tier lists. Noted I watched a lot more films since my last tier lists. Let's get it. San Francisco 49ers. S tier, Christian McCaffrey was a 99 overall. I think that is a perfect rating. I think he's the best offensive weapon, period. I think he's the second best player in the league behind Patrick Mahomes. Note if you hear clicking throughout the video, that's me switching tabs between the Madden ratings and stats. See, our next guy up in S tier, we got Nick Chubb with a 96 overall. I think Nick Chubb is still a top 3 running back in the league. I still have Derrick Henry above him. I feel like Nick Chubb is probably one of the best runners when healthy, but I'm just worried about what this most recent injury is going to do to him. I'm very concerned. Next, Derrick Henry, 94 overall. Part of me thinks that might be a little low. Part of me thinks that may be fair because Derrick Henry is getting up there in age. But I still think he has a lot in the tank. Next, Saquon. Yeah, this is fair. This hurts as a Giants fan that now the Eagles have an S tier running back that used to belong to us. This hurts. But 92 overall, I think that's fair. Most of the S tier, good. Now, the round out, we have Texans with Joe Mixon. Now this S tier starts going. Let's pull up Joe Mixon. Most overrated back in the league. Oh my gosh, this guy is overrated. Holy cow. I mean, he had an okay season, 1,000 yards total. But, see, if anything, he's like a good pass catcher, but bruh is not a 91 overall. Like, even me and my friends who watch football, they thought this was hilarious. Ain't no way this man's a 91. Next up, the start off A tier with the Jags, or Travis Etienne with a 90 overall. Let's see, my thoughts. Not bad, a little overrated. He got 1,000 rushing yards, that was good. Bro kind of fell off a bit, only 3.8 yards per carry compared to 5.1 last year. And that's way below the league average. But I still think, I don't think he's a top 10 running back, but I feel like he is a top 15 back. Next up, who do we got? Josh Jacobs. So you just want to check something? Okay, Aaron Jones is literally right under him. That's kind of funny. So in their opinion, the Packers did upgrade with Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones, but really not by much. I personally do prefer Aaron Jones over Josh Jacobs. Might as well put the Vikings there. Let's just talk about them together. I mean, let's see. Josh Jacobs. I do think he's better than Travis Etienne. And better than Joe Mixon. But he had such a good season. Like, not last season, 2 seasons ago. Such a good season. But he kind of did fall off. I mean, he has 3.5 yards per carry. He was talented. Maybe I could blame that on Vegas mismanaging him. I haven't watched enough of his film. But now Aaron Jones. Let's see. Look at his stats. Rushed for 656 yards and 2 touchdowns. he was heavily injured last year, so I think that does explain it. But for when he did do pretty good. He had 26 missed tackles in just 11 games, 3.6 yards after contact. He did have a good season. I do think Aaron Jones is still slightly better than Josh Jacobs. Let's see, Kenneth Walker from the Seattle Seahawks in A tier. Let's see, where are the Seahawks? Down here. Okay, Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, probably one of the biggest rookie sensations in recent memory. Fair enough. I feel like this rating is, considering all things, this rating is pretty good. He had a bunch of great runs. Has a lot of good highlights. He rushed for 905. He did a bunch of missed tackles. I think that his highlights are probably some of the biggest highlights, but he's still a top 15 back. So this is not too bad. Next up, Kenneth Walker. Isaiah Pacheco. I did not expect to see him this high. Rounding up A tier. Pacheco. He was someone I did not expect. Slight overrating, but nothing egregious. Like, I probably think like one or two overall below. He is a 87, so I probably put him like 85, but I'm not gonna lose my mind over 2 points. His runs are good. Like, he ran like the ground spat on his mama or something. He rushed for 935 yards, averaged 4.6 yards per carry. That was pretty good. And this video is probably already getting kind of long. Try to speed this up. Jonathan Taylor. I feel like this is my kind of personal bias because I am a Jonathan Taylor fan. He is heavily underrated. Like, for me, if they would have switched Joe Mixon and Jonathan Taylor, I think this was pretty good. I know I'm probably overrating him, but I'm a believer in Jonathan Taylor. Was he injured last season, and he had those issues with the owner, which definitely hurt him. Next up, Raheem Mostert, 86. Fair. I mean, he was one of the biggest. I did not know Raheem Mostert's name until this season. Rob was good. B tier fine. Tony Pollard. This is a weird one for me because he's very similar to Josh Jacobs in the fact that he was so good 2 years ago, but now he kind of feels like he fell off a bit. But B tier, fine enough. I mean, he still got the 1,000 rushing yards. He's still above average back. Next, Alvin Kamara. I know I may have dogged on him a bit in my New Orleans Saints video, but I still feel like he's okay. But I still think he is pretty overrated. I mean, he never rushed for 1,000 yards. If anything, he's another receiving back. I feel like he is getting up there in age. This is his 7th year. I don't think he's anything special. Next, DeAndre Swift with the Bears. DeAndre Swift, I'm not really that familiar with him, but from the clips I've seen, slightly overrated. I'd probably put him in the same tier as Kamara, even though I think he is slightly better because he rushed for 1,000 yards. Actually 1,049 yards and 5 touchdowns in 16 games. Pretty good. Slightly better than Kamara. Next, Breece Hall with the Jets. This one is an interesting one. especially since I thought last season he was going to be splitting carries. But this guy's an A tier for me. Like, they underrated, bro. I mean, he has been injured for his career, but last season 994 yards, which I mean he didn't eclipse 1,000. Of 5 touchdowns. A lot of this is just religious faith. I'm probably sounding like I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but I have a lot of faith in the kid. And I personally rate him a little higher. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I've seen a lot of Jets play because I live around the New York area. Next, Lions C tier. This feels wrong for the Lions to be in C tier. This just feels wrong. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's a top 10 back. I feel like I'd probably take him over everybody in A and B tier except for Jonathan Taylor. But I mean, I thought the Lions whiffed on this pick, but they proved me wrong. I still think they have the best wide receiver room. If you look at wide receiver room tier list, they are still the best not wide receiver room, running back room. Still by far the best room. They were so good. Next we got the Rams, which I think they could have a surprisingly good running back room because they got Kyron Williams, Kyron Williams, I think that's pretty fair for where he sits at. But I feel like him, plus the guy, what was his name? They got him out of Michigan, and he was electric in Michigan. Was like the best running back in college football of that year. But bro is so good. I mean, yeah. I mean, next with the Cardinals with James Conner, 83 overall. James Conner, I feel like he could have a big year next year, but for where I'm standing now, I think this is pretty fair. Next, we got Najee Harris. I have gone back and forth with Najee. I've been a big fan. I have been a big hater. At this point, I'm questioning if he's even the best running back on the team. I think Jaylen Warren may be better, but the fact that he has 1,000 rushing yards each season is really saving him for me. If he didn't have that, but also he has a bunch of attempts since he was only at 4.1 yards per carry. I don't know if this is great production out of a former first-round pick. Which next up, speaking of a first-round pick, we got Bijan. Bijan, I feel like he could have been upper A tier, S tier, if Arthur Smith wasn't Arthur Smith. Like, this got me worried for Najee, that they may ruin this man. But back to Bijan. Yeah, they ruined that man. Bro was so talented, and they misused him so horrendously. Next up, Austin Eckler. I mean, there's kind of a fall off here. Bro is pretty washed. Bro was part of that big running back movement a couple years back to try to pay their backs. Remember, it was him, Josh Jacobs, Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, and bro went washed. Bro, they made the right pick by not paying him. Bro's washed. 81 overall. Next, Devin Singletary. I think this is fair. I mean, I guess the way it goes out, low 80s does might get you into D tier. Which, I mean, Devin Singletary, humongous drop off from Saquon. But hey, I mean, at least it could be worse. I think Burke could rush for 1,000 yards. Next, James Cook. Bills, welcome to the dungeon. I still think Bills are going to be good, but yeah, it's a weird look to see the Bills in D tier. When it comes to James Cook at an 81 overall, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I mean, Brad's not a top 20 back. He is a starting caliber back. He's pretty alright. Next, Ramondre Stevenson. He was pretty good, considering all things. I did not expect anything out of this man, and he exceeded my expectations, which are pretty low. But Mr. Ramondre Stevenson, how he compares to the rest of these guys, I literally have him right below James Cook from what I've seen. So, yeah, I feel like this is a pretty fair list. Except for some horrible picks here and there. But next, Gus Edwards. Just edging out J.K. Dobbins. I mean, the Chargers. I feel like both of them are better than Eckler. But, I mean, they've really just reused the Ravens running back room. But, I mean, they should have sprung for like a luxury purchase at running back, because John Harbaugh's run game is such a big importance when it comes to this game. Next, Javonte Williams. 80 overall. I have no clue who this man is. I think I've heard his name maybe once. I've never heard of him. I can't even say anything. I've never heard of him. Rashad White. Not really familiar with him, but from what I have seen, Burrow's alright. I mean, Burrow's better than. I think he's better than whoever this guy is. I think this is when I'm still pissed off that Joe Mixon is an S tier. Because I think. See, I just watched a Rashad White clip right before I made this video. Burrow looked pretty good. I mean, he got 771 yards. Oh, no, he actually got 1539. That's what he had the year before. 3.6 yards attempt. That's not good. But his catching was really good. I mean, I think Burrow is better than whoever they have in the Broncos, because I've actually heard of Rashad White. Tyler Deere, Elijah Mitchell. Zeke. Now I can talk about Zeke. 79 overall. Bro is washed. How is Bro not retired yet? I don't know how he still got a job. Bro looks washed, and if they pull trying to make him an offensive lineman, I'm going to burst into a cackling laugh. Next, Zach Moss. I actually talked to that same friend who we're talking about. I actually had this funny conversation when Joe Mixon went to the Texans and Zach Moss went to the Bengals, and he was even lower on Zach Moss than I am. I don't have much faith in Zach Moss. Bro was Jonathan Taylor's backup, and I don't think he's that good starting-wise. See, next we have Chuba Hubbard. I mean, the only reason I know this man exists is because he has a funny name. I don't think he's... Burrow's okay. I don't know if he's really starting running back in the league. Next we got Alexander Madison. Wasn't that a president? No, James Madison, but yeah. 77 overall. I haven't seen enough tape to say anything about him. But overall, this list pretty good, except for Joe Mixon going into S tier. Didn't mean to review that, but Joe Mixon going into S tier. Yeah, I think that's my biggest offense. Underrating Jonathan Taylor and Breece Hall. Other than that, nothing that offensive. In that case, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified when I upload next, and use my affiliate link. It helps me out financially. See you in the next one. Peace.